Audiences in Kansas City have never been treated to the array of talent that the Symphony is going to present next season, and I am very, very grateful that these artists and friends felt so strongly about wanting to celebrate this inaugural season with us in Helzberg Hall. They couldn't all travel here today, of course, but many would have loved to be with us. Now, any season that includes any appearance by Yo-Yo Ma is by definition special. And there are not many places where he plays full subscription weeks, but he is coming to us next season on subscription. And he could not be here, but he still felt very strongly that he wanted to share in today's announcement. So, ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the TV screens.
Hello, I'm Yo-Yo Ma. I'm thrilled to be part of the opening season of the Kansas City Symphony here at its new home, the Kaufman Performing Arts Center. This is going to be a fabulous season. Michael Stern is my dear friend. For over 40 years, Michael, you have entertained me with your brilliant personality, with your great musicianship, and your wit. And Michael, as leader of the Kansas City Symphony, you have made such beautiful music. I look forward to performing the Dvorak Cello Concerto with you. It's certainly one of my favorite pieces. Moshe Safdie. Moshe, I've been to so many of your buildings all around the world. I've admired them, and I have always longed to be able to perform in a hall that you've built. And now this is going to be a dream come true. So congratulations to all of you. It's going to be a fabulous season, and I so much look forward to be part of it. Thank you.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, I did not write that script for him. There is another great friend who wished to have been able to be here in person who could not be, and she has an even more personal connection to Kansas City. She's a hometown hero, now recognized all over the world as a major artist. She's a great singer whose musicianship is as infectious as her spirit, and I think you will agree after you take a look at this.
Hello, Kansas City! I'm Joyce DiDonato, and I am coming to you from sunny and warm Houston, Texas. I'm deep into rehearsals for Dead Man Walking, which is quite an intensive journey here, but I wanted to take a moment out to share some really exciting news with you. I'm coming home! I get to take part in the inaugural season of the Kansas City Symphony, setting up home at the new Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts. I've been invited to sing in the spring season there, and I can't think of another engagement next year that I'm more excited about. I have our home at the Crossroads District there in Kansas City, and I've been watching this building blossom. And I'm beyond excited to know that my hometown, Kansas City, is getting an internationally top of the state-of-the-art theater that I will get to participate in. I sing in some of the most beautiful cities in the world, in old theaters and new theaters. Houston has a pretty spectacular skyline, but it does not have a Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts. I'm very, very proud of my hometown for embracing the arts like this and for making such a wonderful commitment. And I look forward very much to taking part in this season. I'll be singing two things, a big Rossini fireworks all about Joan of Arc, which is quite intensive and quite operatic in scope. And I'm bringing a piece that I've recorded and sung only one other time with orchestra, Jake Heggie's The Deepest Desire, which is quite a spiritual journey, and it's composed lushly and beautifully, and it's quite a wonderful thing for the Kansas City Symphony to embrace this. So get your season tickets, get those tickets, purchase your seats, and I'll see you there on the stage of the Helzberg Hall.
These are only two of the great artists who are going to join us and distinguish our concerts next season. We also have Joshua Bell, the great American violinist, brilliant and a wonderful friend as well. Yefim Bronfman, one of the great pianists appearing before the public today. Emmanuel Axe, another superlative artist, peerless, who is going to play our very first subscription ever in Helzberg Hall. My old boss, my old mentor, my friend, Christoph von Dochnani, one of the great names in music today, one of the great conductors of the world, the conductor emeritus of the Cleveland Orchestra, and recognized as truly one of the great figures all over the world. He is coming to do a subscription series with us for the first time, and it gives me an enormous amount of joy to be able to welcome him to the orchestra in this great season. There are other guests in abundance, but especially we were pleased to welcome a number of artists who are going to be making their first appearances with the symphony next season. Behzad Abduraimov, a young man who studied right here at Park University, who won the London competition a year and a half ago, and who has already been marching across the great stages all over the world and making a wonderful name for himself. He will be making his debut. Tianhua Yang, a rising star in the violin world, and not only in concerts but also in recordings, she will come to play with us. Arnaldo Cohen, an absolutely wonderful pianist. Benjamin Beilman, a young violinist from Curtis who was a prize winner at the Indianapolis competition, a winner at the Montreal competition. Part of our series, of course, every year, thanks to the Almi Legacy Fund, is to invite a deserving young student, either recently graduated or soon to be graduated musician from the Curtis Institute of Music. And we have this very special opportunity to present these rising stars of tomorrow with us to make their debuts in subscription. And next year, of course, is no exception. Carlos Miguel Prieto, a marvelous conductor and somebody that I admire very much, is coming to make his first appearance with us as well. We have always sought to invite the finest guest artists who can bring something really special, both to the musicians on stage and to the audience. And among those, we have cultivated some special relationships over the past few years, including two exceptional conductors, guest conductors, who are also coming back next season. Asher Fish, a wonderful friend, tremendous musician, who is not only going to be conducting, but also serving as soloist. He will be playing a Mozart concerto, as well as leading the orchestra. And Bernard Labadie, who made such a sensational appearance with the orchestra last season, has honored us by accepting to come back next season as well. Our outstanding symphony chorus is going to be featured in not one or two, but three of the most important choral works in the repertoire, and it gives me enormous pleasure to... It is funny, and it's actually funny that the person that I was actually going to shout out is the one laughing. It gives me enormous pleasure to welcome Charles Bruffy here today, the director of our chorus. Charles, under your direction, really, the chorus has never sounded better, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to work together in three of these great, really, masterpieces of the choral repertoire. The German Requiem by Brahms, the monumental Resurrection Symphony of Gustav Mahler, and to close the season, perhaps the most recognizably popular piece in all of the choral repertoire, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. And not to forget, we also have, as ever, Handel's Messiah, which has always distinguished our holiday programming, and for the first time will be presented in Hellsberg Hall. There are other distinguishing characteristics of the hall that must be mentioned. Top of the list is the spectacular new Cassavant organ, all 5,500 pipes of it, which is being built specifically for Hellsberg Hall. And finally, the orchestra and all of you will have an organ worthy of the repertoire that we are going to play. It is going to be sensational, and what better way to introduce the organ into the subscription series than with the Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony. And that will be the first orchestral performance of the organ in the new hall. And we have an equally impressive lineup of artists and concerts for our pop series, for our family series, and for our holiday concerts, conducted by our tremendously gifted associate conductor, Stephen Jarvie, who is also here with us today. The repertoire for our classical season encompasses many of the masterpieces from the orchestral canon, of course, because that is also a sacred part of our duty. Those include Mozart's Jupiter Symphony, Haydn's Symphony No. 101, The Clock, the Dvorak New World Symphony, Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 6, Respighi's The Pines of Rome, As I said, the Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony, Beethoven's Ninth, Handel's Messiah, and on and on and on. There is so much great music to play. Our only constraint is that there are not enough concerts in the year to play it all. Happily, we are looking at a very long future in the hall, and there will be more concerts and more seasons and more great music in many years to come.
It's going to be great. The lineup is incredible.
They're going to have a lot of people battling to get those seats.
I just think it's going to be fabulous. Very excited.
Very excited. We can't wait to pick out our seats.
It's just going to bring a fantastic new level of music to this town.
It's just marvelous. It makes me hardly wait till September.